Ephesians 2 and 2 is our constitutional liberties being quickly stripped away from us. Where is the privacy? We are constantly being surveillanced in a multitude of ways. Let me share this with you. You be the judge.
Police license plate readers now watch everywhere you drive. These roadside cameras track you so well that police can even predict where you'll go. As Dale Hurd shows us, this data is not only collected and stored, sometimes it's abused.
There are more than 94,000 across the U.S. and the number is growing daily. In some locales, several of these ALPRs, or automatic license plate readers, can sit within just a mile of roadway. They capture your car's location, make, model, color, any dents, and even bumper stickers, and can turn them into searchable data points. They're also mounted on police squad cars.
The license plate reader went off on it and said it was a driver's license restraint. So it looks like on here, so she has a suspended driver's license.
It hits on a license plate, it'll pop up.
It's a pretty successful system. It's pretty easy to use. It can just kind of run in the background.
Police say license plate readers help them solve crimes. However, they can also be used to build a database about you, recording where you live, work, go to church, or even which political rallies you might attend. Smile, because these cameras can even capture who's driving. The photos are then uploaded into a giant shared database, which can be accessed by police and other government agencies. It's estimated license plate scans now reach hundreds of billions each year. Dave Moss, chief of investigations at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, says some police now want to use the tech to solve so-called future crimes. Crimes that haven't happened yet.
This is one of the most pernicious and offensive technologies in the United States. It is misrepresented to the public in such a way that people think it's doing one thing when it's actually doing another.
Robert Frommer, an attorney with the Institute for Justice, calls license plate readers a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable searches and seizures.
This technology is not just about taking pictures of license plates. It's about the back-end AI database being able to take all that data, make deep insights about our past movements, and even predict where we're going to go next.
If you care about civil liberties, this would all be bad enough. But it gets worse. The license plate readers can also be hacked pretty easily.
You can press a button a few times on the back of these cameras and within a few minutes, turn them into your own personal spy device or malware host or honeypot that steals people's login credentials or a cryptocurrency miner, whatever you want.
Tech blogger Ben Jordan also found license plate reader data for sale on the dark web.
Say what?
Some police officers have also been caught using stored data to stalk people.
So we've seen dozens of cases of law enforcement officers abusing these systems to stalk their exes, to look up stuff on women they're attracted to go after their neighbors or people they have it out for. I mean, it's a particularly tempting system because it's, with, millions of searches coming through in a given month, it's very hard for a law enforcement agency to verify that each one is legitimate.
The largest maker of license plate readers by far is a company called Flock Safety. An open records request by a Dunwoody, Georgia resident shows that Flock employees used local cameras to view fitness studios, a pool, a gymnastics area, and areas involving children. In an email to CBN News, Flock stated it would respectfully decline an interview, but has stated publicly the employees
If you think that's it, there's so much more. Our civil liberties and privacy in our lives are quickly being eroded right before our very eyes in the lenses of what they call modern technology. Pay attention to this.
Terrifying. They're able to actually spy on us using Wi-Fi. I mean, forget videos, forget surveillance, forget microphones, all of the things we think about when it comes to surveilling people. they're now actually able to compose video imagery and figure out who's in a room, what you're doing, all just using Wi-Fi signals, which we're all surrounded with right now. Here is Cyber Maddie, and she explains this on her YouTube channel.
Please listen.
We sped it up, but watch this.
Wi-Fi, as we know it, is on the verge to becoming a sensing technology, capable of understanding movement, presence, and gestures without cameras. So what does this mean for surveillance and for your privacy? Wi-Fi sensing has been around for longer than you may think. In the early 2000s, researchers figured out that Wi-Fi signals moved and changed as people moved through a space. And by 2013, a researcher figured out that you could detect human breathing through a wall using nothing but a Wi-Fi router. And now the IE, or some may call it the IEEE, or some may call it the IEEE, has standardized this. And it is called 802.11bf, which is a Wi-Fi sensing capabilities being integrated within all routers. So this turns existing Wi-Fi into a person sensing tool without using cameras or wearables or anything like that, just using Wi-Fi and then the waves that it emits. So I wanted to see for myself how much Wi-Fi could actually see. I grabbed a cheap ESP32 board and flashed some open source firmware onto it and pointed it at myself to see if Wi-Fi could detect my presence and other people's presence in a room. So when I got everything hooked up, it did sense my presence. It saw my heart rate, my breathing rhythm, it did my pose detection, and it detected multiple people walking around within the space. Now, for this experiment, I only had one ESP32 board, which it does recommend at least 2, so the sensing is a little janky compared to if you had 2 or multiple ESP32 boards.
So
but
what do you
with
think
only one
they have?
ESP32, it does get the job done. When it was detecting
So
2
much
people walking
more.
around, as you can see, the bigger blob of light was me.
Where is
and I think with the
our
one sensor, it had
privacy?
trouble positioning me in the space within the software. As you can see by the ghost person moving around me rapidly, it did get the job done, and it did sense 2 people. So how does Wi-Fi sensing actually work? Think of Wi-Fi
Listen.
like a sonar. So for example, bats use sonar to figure out where they are within a space. They send out sound waves and it bounces off objects and then comes back to them. Wi-Fi does the same thing, but with radio waves. Every time a Wi-Fi signal bounces off your body, it comes back as something different. So the data actually transforms as it bounces off objects. And those tiny differences have data that encode your heartbeat, breathing rate, your presence, your pose. So this is technically called CSI
Your heart
sensing.
rate
So why would Wi-Fi
and your
sensing even
breathing
need to be
rate
implemented in the
through
first place? Now, Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
sensing works anywhere where Wi-Fi exists, which is pretty much everywhere all the time. You don't need any extra hardware or any extra setup. You just need Wi-Fi to be able to sense people and where they are. Now, the interesting part, because there are no cameras, it actually avoids those pesky privacy regulations. One thing this country needs is more technology to avoid privacy regulations more than we're already doing. Now, some reasons that the developers give that this Wi-Fi sensing might be useful to organizations or to you personally. These are somewhat normal use cases such as elderly care, hospital, patient monitoring, things like that. Like, yeah, I could see this being used for those use cases, and that's somewhat valid. Now, the more so concerning use cases is in the hotel and hospitality section. Room occupancy without door sensors, minibar and bathroom usage patterns, energy savings on empty rooms. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want someone seeing an infrared outline of me and my bathroom usage or my hotel room occupancy. But
no kidding. So this is all extremely scary. You can watch that full thing, Cyber Maddie. Very, very frightening that now Wi-Fi could just be used to spy on us. They don't even need video cameras anymore. They can just use Wi-Fi.
Make it make sense.
And see an outline of you and what you're doing in your hotel room, using the bathroom, using your bed, doing whatever it is you do in your bed and in your bathroom. And they can see all of that. They can see people coming and going from your house. They can see what you're doing, where you are in your house.
Why do they
just
need
imagine
to know what we're doing?
all of the things
What
they
are
could do. And
doing?
because the laws have not caught up to this, it could be done. It's spying without spying.
Yes. It is a total erosion of our civil liberties right before our very eyes under the mask of new technology. You have cameras in your vehicles, on your laptops, cell phone, watches, red lights, in your stores, on your televisions. Everywhere you go, you are being continually surveillanced by Big Brother, while they are continually surveillancing us when they were created to be or a institution that was for us. Why are they continually watching us as a people when we cannot know what they're doing at all times as if they're not people just like we are. Our civil liberties are continually being stripped away right before our very eyes. There's more. Let's continue.
In our home, hacking our television and looking at us in our most, private moments. If I ever get a hold of you.
Whitney, a mother of 11 from California, has been experiencing strange activity on her TV. It all began 6 months ago. The TV would randomly switch on their own. Initially, Whitney thought it might just be a glitch in the cable and didn't think much of it. But one day, when she and her daughter were having a funny conversation and laughing, suddenly a message appeared on their TV saying, "Whitney, you aren't funny." This confused Whitney, and her daughter started crying, thinking it was a ghost. Things started getting intense when the hacker began displaying inappropriate videos on Whitney's TV, which her children could see. At first, she suspected her son, but he insisted it wasn't him. That's when she realized it was a serious issue.
6 months ago, our TV just started changing randomly on its own.
Please.
We didn't know what was going on, so we called Xfinity. We got a new box, we got a new remote. And after that, it started happening again.
What?
So we got another box and another remote from Xfinity. And that time, the technician took all the old boxes and all the old remotes that we've had, whenever. So they did that. We thought, oh, it's fresh and new. It's all good. Then like 3 days later, after that technician leaves, it starts again. And it really started with them just changing the station a whole bunch of times. And we didn't know what was going on with that. I thought maybe it was a defective remote or box as well. Which is why we called.
Where is our privacy?
Got, Xfinity to come and bring us new equipment.
If a hacker can do this,
twice.
How much more?
And it was still happening.
Big
so
brother.
Then I started, getting really confused because it was like, okay, I keep turning this stuff in and it keeps on happening. So what's next? So I started talking to Xfinity, seeing what they could do to help. They kept saying it was nothing major, whatever, maybe get another box and another remote again.
It's
I was like, okay, I'll entertain that.
Company.
But
this is across the board.
The TV started saying stuff. Me and my kids were up one morning, we're in the kitchen, getting ready for school, and we started laughing about something. And the TV was like, "You're not funny."
And the way they would talk to us at first is they would put it into a YouTube search engine.
Where
and
is
that's how
our privacy?
What he was saying
if
to
a
us.
hacker can do
and
this,
then after
how
that,
much more, Big Brother?
I was just like, whoa, the TV said, we're not funny or whatever. Like, that's weird. Like, how do they know we were laughing? Then I was talking about my old school days where I used to fight. They gonna pop up and say, Whitney, you can't fight. How does this person know my name? You know what I mean? How does this person know what we've been talking about? So I was already freaked out from there. My daughter started crying.
I thought it was a ghost.
She thought it was a ghost or a spirit, coming through the television trying to talk to us at the time.
Ephesians 2
at
and
first
2.
I was all freaked out by it too. But that wasn't the case,
Satan
y'all.
is the prince and the power of the air.
Once again.
Where is our
not touching
privacy?
nothing, not pressing
Look.
nothing. And this person is talking about they David Kong into my remote. How? Like I said yesterday, only one remote to each box. If I got the remote right here and I ain't saying nothing, I ain't typing nothing, I ain't pressing nothing, how's that thing telling me they David Kong? We are recording you because you're a scary bitch. Fly your ass to Fresno. Fly your ass to Fresno.
All right,
Fly your
that's
ass to
enough
Fresno.
on that. Let's continue.
You a scary.
We know that Google is tracking us. We agree to it when we set up our phones. So we wanted to figure out what exactly Google is learning about us throughout the day. So here's what we're going to do. We have two identical phones. The only difference between these two phones is this one is in airplane mode. Both of the phones lack a SIM card, and they haven't been set up to access any Wi-Fi networks. So for all intents and purposes, these phones have no connection to a data network. We're going to keep them with us throughout the day. And while I travel around D.C., we're going to figure out just what Google is finding out about me.
Where is our privacy?
Our first stop, Sim's Convenience Store, just outside our Fox Bureau, for a quick coffee. From there, we took a walk to the Capitol and took a quick walk around the Senate office buildings, and then decided to hop in a car and head around town. Hello. We're going to the Children's Hospital, please. To run our tests, we had to do more than walk the block, so we took a tour around our nation's capital. First, due north to the Children's National Medical Center Hospital, then west to St. Albans School and the National Cathedral. Our tour around town was a 14-mile journey that lasted more than an hour. The entire time, the phones had no access to the internet. Oh my
Did you hear
not a
that,
Wi-Fi
family?
connection and not any cellular data service.
No service.
It almost seemed quaint to assume that Google wouldn't even be able to collect data on me.
Apple as well. Don't get it twisted.
That church is beautiful. Google's business model is simple. Collect data on its users and then use that data to sell targeted ads. It's a business model called surveillance capitalism. But does that critical data collection work even when your phones aren't connected? So we're back here at our Fox Bureau in DC, and we've got both of our phones exactly how we left with them. The only difference, really, I snapped a couple of bad selfies at the National Cathedral.
Listen what he's about to say.
In my pocket for the entire day. So let's find out what they know. This is our man-in-the-middle device. It's basically a Wi-Fi network that these phones are going to connect to once we turn their Wi-Fi on. It's going to pass data through it on the way to Google. But on the way, we're actually going to get a copy of the same data that Google's going to get. We'll be able to decrypt it and then find out where we've been throughout the day. Within minutes, the numbers rolled in. The phone that wasn't on airplane mode registered more than 100 locations, 130 activities, and even 152 barometric readings. As soon as it hooked up to our Wi-Fi, it transmitted 300 kilobytes of data straight to Google. The phone even logged our exact locations, tracking us all around town. The capital,
Where
the
is
hospital,
the privacy?
the school, and the cathedral. Now, you may notice what's missing here is the exact route that we took, but it got that data too. It knows when I got out of the car. The metadata has a time
no
log down
SIM
to the
card,
very second,
no nothing.
tracking everything when they think that you're walking, riding, and yes, even getting out of the car. Okay, so you're thinking, this isn't a big deal. I'll just put my phone in airplane mode. Yeah, we thought of that too. This is the other phone that we had with us that no SIM card also remained in airplane mode the entire time. Let's see what kind of data it captured. The phone with airplane mode activated actually logged more locations and activities than the other phone.
Where is the
privacy? Transferred
privacy?
hundreds of kilobytes of data to Google as soon as it was activated. The only thing that's missing from this map is our stop at the Children's Hospital, but it still knows we were there. There it is. Exiting vehicle.
Wow.
100% accuracy. Through complicated user agreements and free software, Google gets users to sign away their privacy for nothing. They're even following you in the places that most people would expect
Apple
total
as well.
privacy.
Don't get it
Government
twisted.
buildings, a children's hospital, a private school, a church. Every move you make, every step you take, Google is watching you.
Listen, I could go much deeper. Our civil liberties are quickly eroding right before our very eyes. Even if you don't have a camera in your home, your neighbor does, the stores you shop at does, the ATMs you use does, the street cameras does, maybe in your modern vehicles it does, your cell phones has cameras, laptops, Androids, Apple, computers, TVs, you name it, we are continually being surveillanced by Big Brother, and they are human beings and individuals as we are. Why should they know so much about what we're doing in our everyday lives and we don't know what they're doing as Big Brother? Ephesians 2:2 is real. Satan is the prince and the power of the air. Don't let them deceive you under the guise of modern technology while stripping away our civil liberties.